hopefully this time, he says. Hopefully, there we go. Let's make sure this all works. There we go. That sounds good. Which means I get to go. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. This is me, or does this seem incredibly loud? I don't know, maybe it's just me. It just seems incredibly loud. Yes, in the last episode, we had continued on with episode 3, Turnabout Legacy, and things were going very interestingly indeed. As it turns out that Judy knew about the smashed pod, but wasn't letting up about it. So, Judy has a secret hiding from us. She said about the chocolates and different things like that, and that we suspect there was something dubious happening with Miss Judy Bound, as one of the pots had a rather minty fragrance to it. And lo and behold, I want to say it's Ubiquium has a somewhat minty smell to it. Coincidence? I think not. But that is what we're going to find out in today's episode. The test results have just come in, sir. Traces of Ubiquium were found in the teapot. They were? Just like Mr. Edgeworth said. Curse you! You better not think this means you beat me! You really need to drop this obsession with coming in first, Mr. Winner. We're all on the same side here, remember? We're all trying to get to the truth. What? But first is best. Everybody knows it's better to be a winner than a loser. There's really no way for a prosecutor to think. You're not a successful one, anyway. Huh. But I... Enough, Mr. Edgeworth. Please refrain from taunting the boy. Ignore him, Eustace. Where is my microphone at? That is because it is quite a high thing. Okay, there we go. It's a little better. I can actually somewhat hear myself think, because it was all the way up at the very top, and then I was like, as loud. There we go. Ignore him, Eustace. He isn't worthy of your attention. McVale! Alright! Why don't I take care of things here for now? In the meantime, you can perform... In the meantime, you can perform the far more important task of going and checking on the victim. Oh, yeah, good idea. I'll be right back. Excellent. We shall see you shortly then. Mr. Winner's annoying, but totally harmless. Judge Graham, on the other hand... Now... Miss Bound, perhaps you could explain why traces of Ubiquium were found in your teapot. I had no idea there's anything like that in there. Perhaps it's one of the ingredients in the dishwashing soap I use. So you are telling the court that you did not intentionally put Ubiquium in the teapot? Yes, exactly. Why would I? Until today I had no idea that it could even be used to make poison gas. You're a trained actress, are you not, Miss Bound? I'd have thought you would be a more convincing liar. Oh, what do you mean? You have access to the Ultimate Cookbook, correct? A book that just happens to contain instructions on how to create the poison gas used in the attack. Meaning it's perfectly possible for you to know exactly how to make it. You're very well informed, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Bound, is what Mr. Edgeworth said true? The book does contain information on how to make the poison gas, yes. But the fact that I have seen it doesn't make me guilty. Can you ask exactly how the gas was triggered? The victim used a blowtorch to heat the lid on of display cases, thereby melting the Ubiquium. I see. But he locked himself in the room too, didn't he? Surely that's in the fact that he took it himself. Wouldn't it point to it being a suicide attempt?
So, she is not willing to admit to anything. Ow.
Furthermore, where would I have gotten a hold of the infesticide ultra?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps you stole it?
You know, I did bump into Moody Judy a week or so ago, and that very evening I noticed my infesticide ultra got missing. Judy, surely you didn't. Pretty sure you carry your bag of pharmaceuticals with you everywhere you go, everywhere, don't you? There would have been any number of opportunities for someone other than myself to steal it from you.
That's true. And I don't have any hard evidence that it was definitely Miss Bound who stole it.
Jude, there's clearly something you're not telling us. Why don't you just come clean, We all know that you've never hurt somebody for no reason. But you do? You think I'm guilty as well, Mr. Fender? Can you believe me? Got one wing disguised as another, gas trapped in one of the display cases, and you're the proprietor of the establishment. Looking a lot like you did it, kiddo. Alright. You've got this all wrong. You have to remember the gallery doesn't have any security cameras, nor any security personnel. Some ill-intended person or other wanted to get in undetected. I don't think they'd have much of a problem. Wow, you're practically asking to be burglarized. You need to be more careful. A great thief could have a field day in here.
And I also don't think she's joking.
And actually, it seems that Mr. Gusto did in fact enter the gallery before it opened. Sheesh, Judy's one tough cookie. She's not budging an inch. Maybe it's time to rock a little technique Gregory taught me back in the day.
And what technique might that be?
Okay, so here we are. And it's connected to what happened 18 years back, yeah? And since we're not getting anywhere by focusing only on here and now, maybe we ought to approach this from a different angle and look to the past for clues instead.
A turnabout in thinking. So, my father used this method as well. God, do all lawyers do this? Fine. One in a blue suit.
Alright, let's run this through the old Pinkertron. How was Jude's involved and what happened back then?
According to Miss Bound, it was because of her that Mr. Frost's flavoured ice sculptures melted. And yet his sculptures are here on display at this very gallery today. It's possible that she... Thank you, Fender. I think I know what I need to ask Miss Bound now.
Don't thank me. Thank your pops. Now take it away, Milesy. I'll grab the popcorn.
Miss Bound, you say that you were the one who caused Mr. Frost's creations to melt 18 years ago, correct?
I'm afraid so. I was young and foolish, and it was a terrible accident.
And yet what you did allowed you to open this exhibit, no?
What do you mean? Yes, what do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? If you're going to ask such questions, perhaps a little formal testimony from Miss Bound might be best.
Yes, perhaps it might. I'd like to know a little more about Zodiac Hall, and why Miss Bound decided to dedicate this space to Mr. Frost's works.
Very well. If you believe it to be relevant to the case, I will allow it. Miss Bound, would you mind? Not at all. I'll do whatever it takes to prove that I'm innocent. Then please, if you could give us some background on Zodiac Hall and the piece on display here. It took 18 years, but at long last I was finally able to buy Samson's home back a little while ago. But a place like this is expensive to maintain, so I decided to turn it into an art gallery. It was that end I collected as many Paul Helic pieces as I could from around the world. Because if I'm honest, it's always something of a time of mine to open a space dedicated to his work. Thank you for your testimony, Miss Bound. How wonderful it is that you were able to fulfill your dream. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, everything seems entirely above board to me.
Judge Gavale, that was simply the witness's preliminary statement. As you surely know, the value of that testimony cannot be evaluated with due cross-examination.
Spoken like a true attorney. Very well. You may do what you must.
Hold it!
Hang on. What is that? No.
Hey, 18 years. You must have gone through a lot to buy it back, Miss Bound.
This home, this place, such memories abound. I couldn't stand to lose what I had found. Samson, I did what I had to do. To see that home was waiting here for you. How does she make it look so easy? I'll say, but I wouldn't expect any less from a trained triple threat performer.
You could continue with your testimony, Miss Bound, minus the singing, if you please.
But a place like this is expensive to maintain. Yes,
Hold
I know.
it!
You manage the gallery by yourself, Miss Bound.
Yes, well, we only opened today, so I haven't done much actual managing yet, but I have to keep the mansion going. Can't have it falling down around my ears. Samson could come home any day after all.
So, she really got the house back for him.
I'm so sorry, Judy. I wish I could have done more. Oh, you've done plenty, Mr. Fender. If anyone should have done more, it's me. Even if the only thing I can do right now is to keep this place safe for Samson.
Hold it!
Paul Leak. That was Mr. Frost's pseudonym, correct?
Yes, he adopted it while he was working as a sculptor in France.
I see. I'm curious about some of the pieces in your collection. More specifically, how were you able to acquire the Taurus and Gemini sculptures? It was my understanding that Mr. Frost died before he could complete them.
Yes, I was able to create replicas for the Winterwing based on photos of the sculptures he made.
Really? Perhaps you could go into more detail on that.
Hold it!
Tell me more about this dream of yours, Miss Bound.
Well, what I really wanted was to open a gallery with Samson, of course. A gallery of dance, a gallery of song, a gallery of gaiety. Gaiety? Gaiety?
Wait. Ace Attorney, making me a smarter man. A state of quality or being light-hearted or cheerful, and it sounds like this. Oh, hang on a minute. Would help if I had my volume up.
Gaiety. Gaiety.
It is gaiety. Ace Attorney Investigations. Making me a smarter man.
The gallery of gaiety and candy all day long. That was the idea anyway.
And here I thought art was to be appreciated in silence, not accompanied by musical numbers.
Alas, Mr. Tangarera transgressed against the edicts of the Goddess of Justice, and as such, that part of your dream may go permanently unfulfilled. No, Samson is innocent. That awful prosecutor refused to listen, but it's true. He'd never hurt anybody.
Mr. Dangaroa gave a false confession in order to protect Miss Bound. The two of them really did what they could to protect one another, didn't they?
Hold it! These photos you mentioned, do you mean the ones you yourself took in Mr. Frost's room 18 years ago?
Yes, you certainly know a lot about what happened back then, Mr. Edgeworth. So those statues in the Winter Ring were just copies? I didn't even get to see them before they melted.
No, the sculptures in question were definitely not replicas, which means that Miss Bound is lying.
I know, it's an awful shame after we went to the trouble to recreate them too.
The sculptures in the Winter Ring weren't replicas. They're the very ones from 18 years ago. I need to show her I'm aware of that. I'll never get to the truth.
This piece of evidence will reveal the truth.
Really? It will? You seem determined to paint me as a perpetrator of this crime, Mr. Edgeworth. Where is what you resort to tactics like these?
Miss Bound, please don't cry.
Fine, shall we continue?
So her tears were all an act. Well, I suppose she is an accomplished actor.
See, you sometimes I just need to look at the evidence. I really do. Like, sometimes I'm like, I know what I must present! And then I'm wrong. And then I look at the evidence and I'm like, well, I was stupid, weren't I? So I completely forgot to read. I didn't read! I'm afraid to run out of road! It was bound! You can lie all you'd like, but you can't deny the results of the test conducted on the sculpture's remains. And those tests leave... Oh, wait, what? Was ist das? Interesting. And those tests leave no room for ambiguity. What you had on display weren't replicas. They were the very statues Mr. Frost carved 18 years ago.
Well, I could probably help explain how they worked it out if you like, dear. It's the sugar, you see. You might think sugar is sugar. You might think sugar is sugar is sugar, but the composition is actually very unique. You could probably recreate the statues, but the sweet secret of their chemical makeup? No chance!
Thank you, Miss Scone.
I don't really recall asking for help, but there we go.
To put it simply, the statues didn't appear back then because they'd melted. They disappeared because you spirited them away and kept them hidden for these 18 long years.
What? She kept a pair of flavored ice sculptures around somewhere for all that time?
It's not the most out there idea in the world. Assuming you had a big enough ice box.
Quiet, all of you. Miss Bound, have you anything to say in your defense? See, I've already learned that much. Should I take that you mean you admit to having hidden that flavored ice sculptures in question? No, I admit to no such thing. I haven't proven that I was the one who took those statues away, and you won't, because it would have been impossible for me to do so in the first place. As the police were already here when they disappeared, how could I have done it without them noticing it?
How indeed. I don't yet know exactly how you did it, but I'm far from ready to say that it was impossible for you to have stolen them away.
You're a very persistent man, aren't you, Mr. Edgeworth?
I am indeed, and I won't stop until I get to the truth.
I see. Then I'd better tell you exactly what I did that day 18 years ago.
Really itchy finger. Oh, really itchy finger.
The whole time before judging began, I was waiting upstairs in our living room on standby. During the judging, I had to go change the camera's film cartridge for Samson. But before I could take the camera back to Samson, I discovered Mr. Foster's body. Around the time the files arrived, I began to make the rounds and serve tea to everybody present. That was when I saw Mr. Gusto entering Mr. Foster's room. And those were my movements on the day it all happened. I hardly see how you could take issue with any of that.
That's for us to decide, Miss Bound.
You see, there's a contradiction in the story, Mr. Treasurer?
I'm more focused on proving the fact that she did indeed steal those statues. The question is when she would have had the opportunity to do so. If I can win by that, I might be able to prove what exactly she got up to. I don't know why I shout in my own head, but I do.
Hold it!
And what were you doing while you were waiting?
I was in my room practicing some dance routines. I was on TV show called Bacon Bop with Samson, you'll see. Bacon Bop? What kind of show was it?
It was a children's show. The two of them would sing and dance as they made a variety of sweets.
Wow! Sounds awesome!
Oh, the film. Miles, you used to watch it?
My father introduced me to it. I may have watched an episode or two. So Miss Bound passed the time before the judging began by practicing her dance routines. This is the moment when Miss Bound stole sculptures. That can't be the moment she did it. I better listen carefully to what she says.
Hold it!
Were you the only one who was able to move around freely during the judging?
Well, I wouldn't say freely exactly, but I was able to move around more easily than the contestants, yes. Even so, I could hardly have spirited the sculptures away while Samson was standing right there, could I? And I went straight off to change the film as soon as he asked me. I wouldn't have had the time.
So, changing the film and the camera as requested by Mr. Tangarella. Was this the moment when Miss Bound started calling sculptures? No.
Hold it!
You entered the room containing Mr. Tangarella's work before bringing the camera back to it, correct?
Yes, I heard the sounds of something collapsing. Samson, are you in here? Ah!
The sound of the chocolate ship falling over after a certain someone took a bite of the supports.
And Mr. Tangarella was still in Mr. Gusso's room when you found the body.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that was the case. He was judging into room in order, and he liked to take his time.
So the point at which he discovered Mr. Frost's body, was this the moment when Miss Bound stole the sculptures?
I'm slightly leaning towards yes on this one. I'm gonna... No. I tried. Okay.
Hold it!
Just as you did today?
Yes, he went around and offered everybody working on the investigation a cup of tea.
Present company included. I remember it well. You were here, there, upstairs, downstairs, everywhere in that little cut of yours.
Interesting. And did anything strike you as strange around that time?
Oh yeah, Gregory was singing the praises of Judy's tea, and I think he mentioned his saucer was cold.
His saucer was cold.
Oh, yes, he did, didn't he? This was the moment.
Miss Bound, I believe this is when you stole the sculptures.
I hated to contradict you, but the fountain room was full of witnesses at that point, Mr. Fender included, suggesting that I somehow got the sculptures out of Mr. Frost's room right under everybody's noses.
That is precisely what I'm suggesting. Miss Bound stole those art sculptures, and she did that by hiding them here.
Take that!
My father and Fender had no idea that one of the sculptures was mere inches away from them, because it wasn't just a tea set you were passing around, Miss Bound. A hidden eye sculpture in a glass case.
No! Surely such a thing would have been impossible. How would a case of that size fit on a serving card? It would have been spotted immediately.
Is there anything about a serving card?
I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Edgeworth. What are you suggesting she used instead?
I suggested Miss Bound use this to transport the ice sculptures.
Take that!
And this is?
I got the Miss Bound used to move the flavoured ice sculptures out of Mr. Frost's room 18 years ago. It would appear that the very same card is still here with us in the fountain room.
We originally bought it for use in the contest. You're saying that Miss Bound loaded Mr. Frost's sculptures into this card and carried them off?
I am. As you can imagine, all one would need to do is lay a case on its side, add a tablecloth, and it would look exactly like a normal serving card, thus allowing her to move the sculptures around freely.
Can it be?
Holy moly, of course! That's why the saucers were so chilly. They were sitting on top of a big block of ice. Jude, how could you?
Impressive. Then again, you are Mr. Gregory Edgeworth's son. You should have suspected no less. There isn't a scrap of evidence that I stole the sculptures. There isn't a scrap of evidence that I stole the sculptures all those years ago now, and yet I knew that no matter what I said or did, I'd always be under a cloud of suspicion. So you admit it? You admit that you stole them from Mr. Frost's room? Yes, I do. I took those sculptures in their glass cases out of that room 18 years ago. As Mr. Edgeworth correctly deduced, I just up the lift cart as a serving cart to do it, and slipped in and out of Mr. Frost's room while I was going around serving tea to everybody. In the end, I removed not only the sculptures, but the flavoured Zodiac blocks as well.
Zodiac blocks? I feel like I've seen them for myself before. There's a huge block of ice display on the stand. It's being incredibly heavy, though maybe not. Or with it being hollow on the inside. If the winter ring really is an exact replica of Mr. Frost's room 18 years ago, then even though my father never saw them because they'd already melted, the Zodiac blocks must have been in the victim's room back then as well.
When I had finished moving the two ice sculptures into Zodiac blocks out, I took two fresh empty cases to Mr. Frost's room and put them where the original two had been. Only the sculptures had been kept in glass cases, you see, to prevent them from being damaged. So the blocks were a little more robust, so they had been displayed as is. As stated in the contest rules, we were responsible for providing all display materials, including cases.
Meaning it would have been easy for her to prepare those empty spares she swapped in.
Mr. Frost's room contained quite a few of the flavoured ice works in progress. I figured if I melted them down somehow, the other zinc powder would look like it came from the sculptures. As it is how the sculptures from 18 years ago came to be in the Winterwing today. Winterwing? We're not telling it was a German. No. I have to say, Mr. Edgeworth, that's quite a confession.
Indeed, I think she offered it so willingly because she knows there's nothing we can do about it.
That's all I have to tell you. However, despite everything I've shared, you can't charge me with anything now, can you?
What? How'd you figure that out?
Oh my! I would have thought you might know at least this much given we're at a crime scene. I suggest you memorize the various statutes of limitations outlined in this book.
Statutes of what?
Simply put, Kay, prosecutors only have a certain amount of time within which they can put a suspect on trial for a given crime. Theft, 7 years from the date of the crime. Separate time frames apply with regards to claims for damages, etc. Murder, 15 years from the date of the crime. The statute is suspended should the suspect flee to a foreign country. The statute is suspended from the time of any accomplice's indictment to the end of their trial. Let's take a closer look, shall we? Which I just did.
So it's different for every crime. Murder, 15 years. Theft, 7 years.
Yes, Miss Bound stole the ice sculpture 18 years ago, so it's too late to have her arrested for that crime.
I don't believe it. Theft is a serious matter, especially when it involves the removal of evidence from a crime scene. However, as you yourself just pointed out, Miss Bound can no longer be prosecuted for her crime. Rendering your revelation rather pointless, wouldn't you say, Mr. Redruth?
I wouldn't be so sure about that. For you see, the theft of the ice sculptures is my principal interest here. I find the body that reappeared 18 years ago after the theft to be of considerably more interest.
You're suggesting that they also hid Mr. Frost's body?
I am indeed.
How'd you keep a body hidden for 18 years without anybody finding it?
Hiding it in a very unusual way.
Oh, now this is interesting. Are you telling me that you know where the body has been all this time, Mr. Redruth?
Is it a big leap if we think about what Miss Bound has already told us already? As to say, it wasn't just flavoured ice that she moved from Mr. Frost's room back then.
Very well. If you are confident in this claim, let us put it to the test. Tell me, Mr. Redruth, where exactly was Mr. Frost's body hidden?
Take that!
Photograph of Mr. Frost's works?
And the victim's body, Your Honour.
You will have to forgive me, but I don't see what you mean. Where exactly in this photograph is Mr. Frost's body?
Take that!
The Gemini sculpture?
Yes. It may look like a sculpture at first glance, but it is in fact Mr. Frost's corpse.
Surely you can't be serious. I don't see anything in the photograph to support such a wild claim.
Objection!
That's because a certain piece of evidence was used to hide the body in plain sight.
What piece of evidence might that be? The court demands that you present what was used to conceal the body.
Take that!
One of the cloths from in the water wing?
Yes, when it's made to glow in just the right way, it's so visually convincing you might mistake it for ice. Isn't that right, Miss Scone?
Well, yes, dear, but you can make it look like just about anything, really. Even blazing fire! And the right shade of blue would make it look like ice, yes, exactly like in fact. It is not the case that a certain special device is needed to generate these colours.
Objection!
Would you care to take another look at the photograph of the Winter Wing, Your Honour? There's a small box connected to the bottom of the Gemini display case.
That?
One of the very light-emitting devices in question. And Detective Gumshoe even confirmed its presence. In fact, this particular device went missing 18 years ago. Back then, it was no doubt firmly connected to the cloth inside the display case, which means Miss Bound had no choice but to take it with her when she moved the sculpture. So you see, this cloth and the light-emitting device were being used to create the illusion that Miss Frost's body was in fact a statue covered carved from ice.
No, this can't be.
Wait, so you're telling me that when we turn that photo of us in the Winter Wing,
Yes, we were sitting right in front of the body.
Ah! I just kicked my microphone. But the body and the cloth were both recovered from the fountain. Why were they found there if the body was supposed to be in the winter wing disguised as a creature?
Because there would have been no mystery as to how the body had been hidden if we found it as it is. Miss Bound needed to remove Mr. Frost from the winter wing in order to throw us off the scent.
Pins and needles, man. Ridiculous, I don't recall her sneaking around behind our backs while we threw a body in the fountain. My mic's going wobbly again. I don't know.
No, and she didn't need to, because she had another method at her disposal.
Her trusty lift cart.
The same cart that had proved so useful in executing her original theft. I believe she wheeled the body into one of her wings and floated downstream to the fountain. The frozen body, being quite solid, probably got stuck somewhere along the way. Which is why only the cloth appeared at first. The cloth Miss Scone discovered.
And then the body followed afterwards once it had thawed enough. It's an ingenious theory, Mr. Edgeworth. But can you prove that it was me? Seems a little unfair to expect me to accept your accusations without proof, don't you think? What about my witness? Do you think someone might have spotted her when she was moving the body?
As a matter of fact, I do. And the contradiction in the piece of evidence I was provided. Wait, hang on a minute. I'm gonna...
Just making sure it's wound up tight enough. There we go. Right.
And the contradiction in the piece of evidence I was provided will shed light on exactly how Miss Bound moved the body as well.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any evidence to support your allegation?
Of course, I have a piece of evidence very compelling proof right here.
Then please present it to the court. What evidence do you have that proves Miss Bound acted as you claim?
I actually have no idea.
Take that!
No.
A few options. In my mind, it's either the picture that Larry drew or the chocolates. But considering the chocolates were melted, I'm leaning rather heavily into more of the picture.
Take that!
Like that. More drawings? And is that me?
Yes, Mr. Bott's tree sketches of people as they pass through the fountain room. But what I'm interested in is the cart as we see here.
Miss Bound's serving cart? What about it?
You don't see it? She's using the same trick she used 18 years ago. There you go. We know that Miss Bound was busy moving Mr. Frost's body when this picture was being drawn.
What? If I may, I don't see Mr. Frost's body anywhere in that sketch. All I see is a picture of me delivering chocolates to everyone.
Really? Then allow me to direct your attention to the colour of the tablecloth, Miss Bound. I'd originally thought that Mr. Botts had made an error, but he assured me that it couldn't possibly be the case.
This tablecloth appears to be light blue.
Yes, the shade of tablecloth Miss Bound doesn't seem to own.
The cloth only appears to be light blue due to the body hiding just underneath.
Oh, but the shape of the cut is perfectly rectangular, just as one would expect. Surely it would immediately be obvious if the tablecloth has been draped directly over the body.
Not if the body had been placed inside one of those hollow zodiac blocks in the winter wing. Place one of those on the lift card and leaves you past muster as a regular 7 card. Wouldn't you agree?
Goddess of justice!
Miss Bound, surely you must admit that it was you who moved the body just as you did 18 years ago.
I didn't expect you to deduce all that from a single simple sketch. But a sketch alone isn't really enough to prove your theory, is it?
You needn't worry on that front. My case doesn't rest solely on Mr. Butt's artwork. Once you had disposed of the body, your serving card became a simple lift card once more. Which is exactly what we discovered here in the fountain room. And without a serving card, you had to find some place to put your chocolates.
My chocolates? The one I was handing out?
As you saw in the sketch, you had originally placed them on top of the card. The chocolates you gave us came from your pocket.
Oh yeah, mine was half melted. Still super sweet and tasty, though.
Why do you suddenly feel the need to put the chocolates in your pocket, Miss Bound?
Hey,
Just because you no longer had a serving card to put them on, that's why.
One moment, please. You have explained what Miss Bound did with the chocolates and the lift card, but what about the tablecloth? Where did that go?
Indeed, if stuffing the chocolates in her pocket was the only solution she could think of, I doubt Miss Bound had the time to dispose of an entire tablecloth.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have an answer for me?
Miss Bound didn't hide or dispose of the tablecloth, Your Honor. In fact, it's right here in front of us.
Perhaps you would care to enlighten us? Where exactly the tablecloth Miss Bound used to hide the body?
Well, I was thinking either the autumn or winter wing, but... You know, thinking back to the first time I ever met Judes, I remember her wrapping a tablecloth around her waist before getting out of work. Interesting. I think that might prove to be a vital clue. Yeah, maybe.
Friends are done talking amongst themselves, but I can finally enlighten this court.
Miss Bound has a tablecloth on her person, and in plain view, in fact.
In plain view? No, surely you don't mean...
Miss Bound? It's the cloth around your waist, isn't it? Given that the zodiac blocks weren't kept in glass cases, that cloth would have been in direct contact with the ice. All you would need is to confirm my theory, is test the cloth for traces of the sugar used in Mr. Frost's work. The game is up, Miss Bound. It's time to come clean.
You won't need to test the tablecloth. Everything you say is true. I stole delicious infesticide daughter, and I moved Mr. Frost's body. It was me. It was all me.
Something about this feels off. I don't know why my mom keeps doing this.
Alicia, I'm so sorry. Last week, I went in your bag and I took it. And then put it in his pocket, hoping to make it look like he tried to do himself in. I also made sure to leave no fingerprints but yours, just in case the police suspected foul play. Judy, you... Oh, gosh.
But Judes, why? Weren't we supposed to be on the same side, all fighting together to free Samson?
You were, but couldn't afford to get arrested. Not yet. Not until it's finally proven that Samson is innocent. I always planned to get myself up in the end, I swear. I know it's easier to say that now, but...
Why do it this way, though? It's Not like you.
Sorry, Mr. Vendor. Caused you so much trouble. You've been the guilty party all along. Since that day 18 years ago.
Why don't you tell us that the true culprit in the IS-7 incident was you?
I committed a terrible crime. I took those sculptures and I stole them for purely service reasons. And once Mr. Frost died, they became more than mere entries in the confectionery contest. They became the final works of Samson's favorite artist. I couldn't allow them to just melt away, not before he came home. And that meant I couldn't let anybody near them, not even the police.
Okay, I was gonna say.
So you hit them. I knew I was wrong, but I just had to. Put them in the cold storage room for safekeeping. But what I had actually done was far worse than anything I could have possibly imagined. Because who would have thought that Mr. Fott's body itself was posing as one of the sculptures?
So, she didn't know about the body when she saw the sculptures.
Samson is a kind man, a saint. He could never kill anybody, never! And yet, because of what I did, the police never found Mr. Frost's body, and Samson was found guilty. After all he done for me, it was my family. He the only family I've ever had. He's the most important person in the entire world to me, and
Dudes.
After his conviction, I was forced out of our home. I was finally able to return only a few days ago, and when I did, I went to the cold storage room to check up on the sculptures, and that's when I saw it. Mr. Frott's body had been there the whole time. Of course, by that point, the statute of limitations had expired, so I did what I did today. Because it was the only way I could think of to make things right.
Seems I've misunderstood her intentions. Everything she's done really has all been for Mr. Tangaroa's sake.
Hey, what are you thinking about, Mr. Edgeworth? Something that's been puzzling me. Why did Miss Bound use poison gas? Why not a more reliable method? Why disguise the autumn wing as a winter wing? The only reason I can think of is to confuse someone who was here 18 years ago. Yeah. I wonder what she had in mind.
She was trying to prove that Mr. Tangaroa is innocent. Miss Bound's ultimate goal must be too. Could she have been trying to discover the identity of the true culprit?
Miss Bound, your ultimate aim was to see Mr. Tangaroa cleared of all charges, correct? And to that end, you had to expose the real killer and have the police find the body from 18 years ago. Is my understanding of your intentions correct? Exhibiting the sculptures was sure to force the killer to return to the crime scene. After all, they were the only person apart from you who knew that the body was hidden in the icework. So they would have freaked out thinking the body was about to be discovered and come running, yeah? Exactly, but Miss Bound ran the risk that the killer might successfully cover their tracks this time. In a worst-case scenario, they might even have been able to remove Mr. Frost's body from the scene. So how could you lure the true killer into revealing themselves without putting vital evidence at risk? Oh, I see where you're getting at. You're saying that's why the autumn wing was all winter wingy. I am. You were betting on one thing, Miss Bound, weren't you? That whoever opened the Pisces case you had so carefully disguised as a Gemini case would be the real perpetrator of the IS-7 incident.
No! But that would mean the real killer was... Enough! Not another word. To realize the implications of what you are saying, Mr. Edgeworth. Are you prepared to stand behind the accusation you are clearly about to make?
Miss Bound set a trap for Mr. Frost's killer, meaning that whoever found themselves caught in that trap is highly likely to be a guilty party. But I lack the evidence to support such an assertion. To accuse someone without any evidence is not to be that unlikely, so should I really go ahead and make my accusation name Frost's killer nonetheless? I think I know. My ultimate goal is to see the truth exposed, and to do that I need to seize the moment. Yes, Judge Gavale, I am prepared to stand behind my accusation. I know exactly who is to blame for the I-7 incident.
Take that!
Mr. Gusto, the victim of the poison gas attack is the perpetrator behind the I-7 incident.
Gusto? Why else would he come back from training? Mr. Gusto, Miss Bound, as we have established, you knew the opening of the gallery would lure in the real culprit, and you set up the poison gas trap in order to catch them. Do you dispute the facts thus far?
You're a very impressive man, Mr. Letchworth. I just like your father. And of course, you're absolutely right.
Perhaps you could tell us exactly what happened in your own words.
Of course, you have nothing to hide anymore. So I might as well tell you everything. As you said, I set it up here in the gallery to try and catch Mr. Frost's killer. Before he opened, I made sure that the door to the autumn wing was the only one that was unlocked. When opening time came, I went around to unlock the door of the various wings. And now the autumn wing had been locked from the inside. The killer was on the other side of the door. So I thought, well, it frightened me.
And then she simply walked away, leaving him to fall victim to a poison gas trap.
When I heard that Mr. Gusto was being treated for bad gas inhalation, that's when I knew he was the murderer. Oh, that was left for the police to find Mr. Frost's body, and then someone would finally be proven innocent. At least, that was my plan.
Dude, why didn't you tell me? You know I'm always here for you, right? You could have found another way. It didn't have to be like this.
Thank you, Mr. Fender. You've been so very kind to me all these years. I'm the one who created this mess, so it was up to me to try and clean it up. I didn't care what it took, as long as I could get Samson out of that awful place.
Judy!
18 years ago, the police managed to cover up the fact that Mr. Frost's body had gone missing. If I went to them now and it had reappeared, I was afraid they might have covered things up again. So, I were to set off a very public incident here in the gallery, in front of as many witnesses as possible.
I'm so sorry, Judy. You, Samson Gregory, I let you all down.
Fender. This can't be easy for him.
No, I'm the one who should be apologizing. Start with Mr. Fender. I hope one day you can forgive me. Whatever punishment I have to face, I'm ready to accept it. But please, if I may ask one thing of you, you simply must clear Samson's name.
The way the truth of these past 18 years had come to light was unexpected, to say the least, and yet it had only set us down a path towards an even more shocking end.
To be continued. Now I can save my progress and leave off for today. Now I can do the thing. But if you guys did enjoy this episode, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help. Click the bell icon down below to be notified when I live stream or upload a video. And I shall see you guys in the next episode. Bye!